Breaking news.
Drama! Yes, drama when it comes to Manchester United.
It's all kicking off.
Man United won't break the bank for him. And if Man United won't break the bank for him, they've got other targets.
We actually need to stop this, people. United fans online, maybe even football fans online, but let's keep it to our fan base, yeah? We actually need to stop this. As soon as you have a different opinion, right, to somebody else in the fan base, it means you're a fake fan. This is the terminology we have to stop. Basically, you're a real fan until I disagree with you, and then that makes you a fake fan. And we need to stop this notion, right, that in a relationship, which is our relationship with the clubs that we have, even outside a relationship, that you basically put up and shut up and you're not allowed to have any concerns along the way. It's a one-sided affair. So, i.e., let's make it into football terms. We've got a manager at the minute who, by his own admission, is doing a terrible job. He's played nearly 50 games and has a 24% win percentage. And has, won 8 games out of 30-odd or something like that, 40-odd in the Prem. So, because of that happening, and then the manager saying, I basically think I might leave, what some fans are saying is, you're a fake fan if you look at all of that data that's been collected and listen to the man himself and have concerns. That means you're a fake fan. It means you may even get, racial abuse. You may get just regular abuse. Whatever it is, you're a fake fan. I think that's a very, very mad line to be using and to be brandishing. And the cheek of people using lines like this because they have a different opinion to you is scary. Here's the thing. It's your opinion. And that's another thing. Oh, you changed your opinion. Yeah. Last time I checked, it's my opinion. It's your opinion. It's our opinion. And they can change. If you can't change your own opinion, what can you change? What do you have ownership over? If you can't change your mind on something, regardless of whether you like it or not, or somebody else likes it or not, what's the point of this? So here's the thing. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to keep having our own opinion. I'm going to keep having my own opinion. And when you don't like it, it's probably best you just don't watch, or, I don't know, have your opinion over there and you can respectfully do that. And we just all move on. It's football. It's opinion. You don't go to court thinking one thing and then new evidence gets presented to you and you go, no, well, I thought this, so I'm just going to stay with that. Okay, well, that's up to you then. That's up to you. You do that. But let's stop criticizing people for just having a different opinion to yours. This don't go out to everyone. This goes out to idiots. This goes out to idiots. So, yeah, we got a lot to talk about, though. That included. Also, the thing, again, people didn't like the news the other day. You're making it up. You're spinning it because the media are telling you this, and you're talking about it. Well, David Ornstein last night says that Kobbie Mainoo wants to leave on loan. Is he lying? Is David Ornstein, Mr. Bomber Siren, lying? Is he telling lies? I just want to know. And if he is, what tier are we now putting David Ornstein at? I want to know that as well. But we're going to talk about the loan latest with Kobbie Mainoo. Garnacho has got the here we go. He's gone to Chelsea. We've got the details on that. Of course, there's a little bit more on Rasmus Hojlund, and it is the small matter of another game tomorrow, and the small matter of a press conference, a big press conference actually for Ruben Amorim today, where he's set to clarify how he felt, because some of the suggestions are that he acted in the heat of the moment. So will he retract these again, like he did against? Will he come backwards and get that calmness? So it's going to be a crazy show, Owen.
Yes, it's going to be a crazy show. Good morning, folks. Welcome to the Transfer View. If you haven't already, click the like button. Be sure to subscribe. We've already got close to 1,000 people watching. We're 20 likes away from 150 likes. If you haven't already, click the like button. And just, it goes without saying, I don't know if people had seen it on social media. It's kind of even gross to spotlight it. But for those that didn't see, Flex was sharing his opinion on social media. And for some reason, idiots, always hiding behind unknown accounts, decided they're going to turn that into an opportunity to throw racial abuse around, which is never acceptable, abhorrent. And I'm sorry you had to go through that, my friend, because it's bullshit.
It's so normal now, man. Appreciate that. It's so normal now.
It's the biggest bunch of bullshit ever. So for those that are wondering in that and they're going, oh, you're saying me because I said I disagreed with you. No, the situation is that this is football, at the end of the day, and things are bigger than football, and it's no need to go to that point. And it has, even below that, you've had situations where it resorts to insults and what have you. It's a highly charged time at the moment, but there are boundaries and limits to a spirited debate or spirited back and forth between football fans, isn't it? It's very, very unfortunate, very, very unfortunate. Indeed. And I got one yesterday saying, and one of the things of the Trafford talks, someone said, Owen, you change your opinion whenever you want. Yeah, it's mine.
You're allowed.
If I can't change my opinion, if I can't control my own thoughts and opinions, then what can I control, right? And then when it gets escalated to stuff like you experienced yesterday, it's just, again, absolutely disgraceful.
Yeah, 100%.
That is social media, unfortunately, completely
toxic. It is. But before we get into all the news, it is Friday, which means we should be doing our picks. We should be getting ready for final one standing because we're still in. I'm still in flex. I'm still in flex. Yes, after my good first week of Sunderland, and then they lost the next week, didn't they? So not got in that one early. Next, I had Arsenal last week, so I'm still in, and I can still make my pick. And let's see who I should go with this week. Robbie's gone with United. Yeah, I had United, and then obviously the Grimsby thing happened, and I'm like, I think I'm going to go Forest now. I think I'm going to go Forest.
I don't know if I'd take that risk.
What, of United?
Yeah, I don't like betting on my own team anyway. I don't like that because then, yeah. Do you know what? Do you know what I'm going to go with?
What are you going to go with?
This might be Spurs. That's what I'm going to go with. Spurs against Bournemouth. Spurs at home to Bournemouth. Bournemouth. So I'm going to go with.
I tell you what, Owen.
I did big picks.
Dodgy. Look what Bournemouth did against Liverpool. I know they lost, but they came back.
Spurs at home. That's what I'm going with.
I don't know, man. I don't know about that. I think he's locked it in. I mean, you can change it up until 12:30 tomorrow. You can change it.
Yeah.
And remember, guys, you can get involved in Final One Standing if you'd like to. If you would like to, you can scan the QR code, or you can click the link in the video description below. Take you to the app. It's free to play. Okay, and you make your pick every single week. Now, there's a jackpot, a big jackpot, the main jackpot of 500k. Of course. Me and Owen are still in that. If you pick a team and they win, you're through to the next round. Nice and easy. If they draw or they lose, you're gone. You're out. Finito of the main 500k jackpot, and so on and so forth. Once you've picked a team that has won, i.e., I have picked Arsenal and I've picked Spurs from the first 2 weeks of the Premier League, I can't pick them again. So I use Arsenal against Leeds. That was easy cash money. And I use Tottenham against Burnley. You can see where I'm going with this about the newly promoted sides against the bigger teams is usually the right way to go. But once you're out, you're out. However, you're out of the 500k pot, but there are different pots each week. Sometimes there's 50k pots. Sometimes there's 20k pots if you're out. And you can have private pots with your mates as well. So, yes, pick the best team. And like it says there, they do the rest. Final One Standing by William Hill. It's very easy to play, isn't it?
Yes, indeed it is. But remember, folks, it's 18 plus, UK and Ireland only. Please gamble responsibly. Terms and conditions apply. And full terms are in the video description below. Remember, you can click the link in the video description or it's pinned in the chat as well to get involved. Flex. Wow, we've got to talk Kobbie Mainoo, haven't we? We've got to talk Kobbie Mainoo. This turns out, for all of the naysayers and the it's not true, spin. I can't believe you're falling for this. It's not even Kobbie's not even asking to leave. He's not even being pushed out.
Yeah, that one. He's not asking to leave.
He's not even asking to leave. I remember, I saw yesterday people going early in the morning. we're all talking about just the result now, not talking about Kobbie anymore because it wasn't true. Well, last night, you don't get more legit than David Ornstein himself. I guess now the thing is Ornstein's a fraud, isn't he? Because he's not going to. I don't like this news, so I don't believe Ornstein anymore. Kobbie Mainoo has informed Manchester United of his desire to leave on loan before the transfer window closes to play regular first-team football. Mainoo told United at a meeting on Thursday. So once again, you know, that whole thing about his future was going to be decided in 48 hours. Those reports about a meeting in 48 hours. 2 days after that report, they have a meeting and this comes out. So that
Isn't 2 days, 48 hours?
Yeah, interesting, isn't it? It's
okay.
interesting that one, isn't it? Interesting that one. You know, Mainoo told United at the aforementioned meeting on Thursday that while he has no intention of severing his ties with his boyhood club, the 20-year-old midfielder believes his current situation does not provide the opportunity to develop his football career. It continues on by saying the England international made clear his wish to depart Old Trafford on a temporary basis in order to gain consistent game time, especially before his potential involvement at the World Cup next summer. Now, United have expressed to Kobbie Mainoo that they will not sanction a loan and they value the academy graduate and expect him to stay and fight for his place. So just like we were saying, Flex, on these shows this week, it's not a case of, you know, Kobbie's being forced out. It's not a case of, oh, he's definitely going to leave on a permanent. But clearly there are issues there. Clearly there is a situation whereby Kobbie is worried about not playing. Clearly, he's got some kind of interaction from Ruben Amorim to suggest that he's not going to be playing. Clearly, the first 2 games of the season, in terms of him not getting any minutes in those Premier League games, has worried him, knowing that a World Cup is on the horizon and he wants to play. There is an issue here. This is not fake news. This is not, you know, it's nothing. I'm going to stick my head in the sand. This is a real thing. The worries that people have about Kobbie in the system are echoed by Kobbie himself. And he's, to the extent that with days left of the window, he's seeing him possibly not playing for the next several months at the very least and going, that might cost me the World Cup. I'm not willing to sit on the bench. I need to go and play. I want to go and play. This is an issue. Now, whether or not United don't think it's that much of an issue and that he will get game time remains to be seen. But this is very, very real. And if you were sticking your head in the sand on Monday or Tuesday, whatever, well, get your shovel out because it's time to get the head out of the sand. This is very real. It doesn't get more real than this.
Yeah, I think it also comes down to what we. Ironically, there's a lot of right and wrong going on at the minute. I'm finding myself going more and more into that. I probably need to stop. That is one thing that. Because we're all quite heightened right now, I think the right to prove right or wrong is getting in there. And that's what I don't like because I'm being forced into that. I probably need to stop. So let me just talk about it objectively and just stick to the facts. My feeling was, your feeling was, whilst all of this Kobbie Mainoo thing was going on, was actually he probably won't go. He's probably going to still be a Man United player.
He's not going to leave.
Yeah, we don't think he's going to leave. However, this is concerning because there is more of a window of opportunity where he could. And this was before we were learning of his actual words of, I would like to leave for the season. Don't want to leave forever, but I really want to leave for the season because I want to play football. So that's what's interesting about this is that we do have a little bit of clarity on some of it, which is that, and I tweeted this, and it's that, okay, Kobbie actually now has vocally said, I want to leave for a year at least. The club have said, you're not leaving. We don't want you to leave. We don't want to sever ties with you. We want you to stay here and fight for your place. We're not sanctioning a loan move for you. If they were happy for him to leave and thought it was a good idea, they would say, okay, we respect your decision, Kobbie. You're up for loan. We'll see who comes in for you. They've blocked that. So I think that's good, personally, because I don't want Kobbie to leave. The second thing is, what does Amorim feel about that? How does he feel about that? And will Kobbie Mainoo get enough game time now this decision's been made? Now, people can say, you know, it's up to him. He needs to knuckle down. He needs to make sure he gets in a team. It's tough. If you don't want to be with us in a difficult moment when our midfield's crap, then see you later. But again, my opinion of that is I think that's a little bit, I think you're completely forgetting the player's understanding of the situation here. The manager has told him, you're competing with Bruno Fernandes. I don't think it's a fair fight, guys, if I'm honest, versus what we've seen. Because unless I'm missing something, unless we're going to start seeing Bruno Fernandes not start games and go to the bench because of merit, and you didn't play well in the last game, Bruno, so I'm starting Kobbie in this game. Is that okay with you? Unless we start seeing that, which we've never seen, and I will stand corrected and have my hands up like this and go, wow, I never thought I'd see the day where Bruno was on the bench at home against Chelsea and Mainoo is starting ahead of him. Unless we start seeing that, our manager has told us that, in my opinion, he hasn't got much chance of playing. Now, again, unless it's something, again, that the manager has said under pressure that he needs to revoke and say, I didn't really mean it like that. What I meant was that all the play. Today's going to tell us a lot, because Ruben does have this thing that he does do where he can call it too honest or trips up or gets a bit over emotional and says things. He did, again, he admitted this. He admitted this. He said, I am that guy. When he said we're the worst team ever, the next presser, he said, I can be that guy and sometimes I need to learn. And so unless this is a Ruben learning curve.
Yeah, the Rashford thing, remember?
The Rashford thing.
But the goalkeeper coach, well, maybe sometimes I can be a bit emotional.
I didn't mean it like that and this, that and other. So unless he did a knee-jerk reaction out of being angry and saying that Mason Mount can play there and he's competing for a space with Bruno, and to not mention he's not just competing for a space in midfield.
Although he has said that multiple times as well. You know what I mean? Because he said that obviously once to the press conference, and then before the game in the interview, he got asked that and he said it again.
What, against
Fulham? About the competing before the game against Grimsby, the game he mentioned in the pre-match interview. He mentioned that one.
So Owen, help me out on this, and you guys help me out in the chat. We're discussing this. That shows me that Ruben Amorim sees Kobbie, right? Whether we think this is misprofiling or whatever, this is how the manager is telling us he sees the player. I don't see him like Ugarte and Casemiro, who are like ball winners, defensive midfielders. They get the ball back. That's our balance, yeah? I see Kobbie more as a player like Bruno, who can influence the ball, manipulate the ball, get goals, get assists, get forward. That's why he's saying he's competing with Bruno and not competing with the other central midfielders. Is that how everyone's seeing this?
I think, when it comes to, all the stuff, I think when it comes to him being emotional, Ruben Amorim, I think that is the line he's going to take today. That's certainly the line the club were taking yesterday, of those things that Ruben said about, players spoke for me and kind of implying that he might walk or he might resign or whatever. The club were definitely taking the line of, well, he was just very overly emotional in the match. Tensions were high. He doesn't really mean that. We're sticking with him for the long term. I don't think when he's been talking about Kobbie, he's been over emotional at all. I think if anything, he's just been saying how he thinks and feels. I think he looks at it where he goes, right, in this system, in this team, like you say, he's not competing with Casemiro and Ugarte because they're like the ball winner midfielder. They're the more defensively minded midfielder. That's not what Kobbie is. So Kobbie's competing with that 8 position. I've tried him in the 10. Didn't really fancy him in the 10. And also, we've just purchased 2 10s this summer. So he'd be further behind them in the pecking order anyway. So the only spot by proxy left over is the Bruno spot. And like you said, that would be all well and good. And I don't think Kobbie would be requesting a loan if you had regular situations where, like you say, Bruno wouldn't play or Bruno would get subbed off, because Bruno didn't get subbed off, does he, really? So if Kobbie's going to come on, it's because we're maybe chasing a game and the game requires us not to have a ball-winning midfielder and have a second sort of 8 in there to try and chase the match. So, and hopefully, if we're playing well enough, hopefully we're not going to be chasing many matches, you would hope, So I can understand why he would request a loan. And this is, we speak a lot about the soft launch. I'll be honest, like seeing that news last night did kind of feel like the soft launch of, hey, look, if I want to go out on loan now, but just so you know, this can't really carry on. If this carries on, I'll have to want to leave permanently, and I might force it a little bit more. Like as I said a few minutes ago, this is an issue. This is a problem, and maybe both parties felt like it was something different earlier on in this window, because I was in the Athletics article earlier this week. They said that previously Manchester United thought that all of this was a big negotiating tactic from Kobbie and his representatives, because part of the issue, arguably the core issue as well, is this whole contract situation, and he wants more money, and United want to give him so much money, but he's got several years left. And they felt previously, this is just trying to get money in the new contract, it'll be fine. It's kind of got bigger than that now, hasn't it? Yes, that's still an aspect of it, but it's all actually about what is my role in this team? What is my importance in this team? Because I don't know.
I don't
know. And I don't know.
People are using that to say you're weak-minded because you don't want to be here for a year and fight it out. It's not a fair fight.
It's not reflected. I think he's kind of going, well, it's not really reflected in my salary, but it's not necessarily about the salary. And I'm not playing at all. I'm playing in cup games which we've just gone out of. Like, where am I?
Do we think against Burnley that Bruno's going to be on the bench and Kobbie Mainoo is going to be starting?
No, exactly. Kobbie won't start at the weekend. I'd be really surprised if he started.
Unless the manager, again, does something that he's told us isn't the case. And this is what my gripe is. This is, again, it leads into everything.
And by the way, it must be stressed, because people will say this.
Yeah.
It's not to say that, like, we think, or I think anyway, I can't speak for you, but I think that Kobbie's the most amazing player. He's 20. Like, he's 20 years old. He should be coming in and out of the Manchester United side. He has arguably had too much too soon in terms of his meteoric rise, and that makes it difficult. But it's all or nothing, isn't it, with us? Because he's not coming in and out the side, really. He's more out than in. And if previously you could argue it felt like there was a plan for him long term, and it doesn't feel like now there is this plan, or the plan feels a bit more uncertain. And I think that's where it stems from. So don't get it misguided that it's, so you think Kobbie's, he's going to be Manchester United's Pele, and he's this and he's that, and he's going to be amazing. It's not that. It's more I think he's thinking, I don't know what's my long term here. And like you said, if they say the long term is, you're going to replace Bruno in the future, then naturally you go, well, how long is Bruno going to be?
Yeah, well, you're telling him to sit down for a year and not play. So and that's why he's saying, I'll probably want to. Maybe that is the reason why he says I only want a loan. It was clear he doesn't want to sever ties. It's not like Kobbie's had enough of Man United and wants to get out. We're not painting that picture. He wants to go on loan because he wants to play football. It's a World Cup year. Some people's pushback to that is, mate, you're only 20. You can play in loads of World Cups. That's not how it works. It's your career, and you've had a taste of it. You've just been at a major tournament and proved you're good enough to play at that level. So you don't get to tell him, it doesn't matter because you're young. There's going to be loads of tournaments. Uncle says 2 games. I'm glad he said that. That's fine. And that's Uncle's opinion, that because Uncle's basically saying it's only 2 games. I'm telling you, Kobbie, I'm taking this, Uncle, as you're saying, it's only 2 games. Stop getting hysteric about this. There's loads more games to play. Less now because we're out of the Carabao Cup, but there's more games to play, and the manager will play him. I'm going off, what the manager's actually telling us. For Kobbie Mainoo to play, it means Bruno can't play. That's what the manager told us. So,
and again, also
where's
what
it going to come from?
On Saturday, when he's on the bench again, and then we're going to go 3 games, 4 games. And also, it's not necessarily, but he has to base this off, Kobbie, off the 2 games that he hasn't played, because the window shuts next week. So if he's looking at this, he's going, well, I haven't had a sniff in the Premier League so far in the first couple of games. That says to me, for the rest of this season, then it's probably going to be the same. And my only opportunity to go and play football and make sure that I go and play football is in these weeks that the windows are open. So you can say 2 games, but he's forced to base it off 2 games, because you have to think logically and go, I haven't played in the Prem. We're out of the Cup now. We're not in Europe. So through these 2 games, I'm seeing that I'm not going to play in the Prem. We're only in the Prem.
And conversations. Yeah, we're only in the Prem. And conversations that we're not taking into account whatever conversations he actually has had with the manager or behind the scenes for him to come to this conclusion. We can see from the 2 games what the manager's thinking is. Okay, fair enough. And like Wrap Up Heaven says, the FA Cup is his only realistic chance of starting games. Like he's,
Rasmus
Højlund.
Rasmus Højlund, when he was not in the squad, were we going 2 games, 2 games, 2 games? No, we weren't saying that, were we?
Yeah.
Rasmus Højlund, he played loads of games last season for Man United, didn't he?
Yeah.
Loads of games.
Yeah, he started loads.
Started loads. When he was not in the squad or when he was on the bench against Fiorentina and he didn't come on, what did we say? It's not looking good. He's not going to play many games this season for Manchester United. He should probably leave. It's the same thing.
Right. The manager also said in the same statement
situation
that improvement is needed in that position, even with Bruno playing. Kobbie can be that improvement. Right. So that's what I'm saying. So what we're suggesting, and this is where again you have to bring in this type of opinion because it's valid. People are saying, okay, Kobbie, there's the assignment. The assignment is Bruno's going to give the ball away every week. When you get your opportunity, take it, come off the bench. If you get on instead of Bruno, or Bruno goes one. I think the only way they end up on the same pitch is if, and Bruno comes off or something, then or Mount comes off and you put Bruno back into the 10 and then Kobbie goes back into where Bruno was. But when that happens, Kobbie, get your goals, get assists, or, shine. Show the manager in training every day that you're better than Bruno in this position. But guess what, guys? Guess what? Here's where another opinion comes in. What the hell is Bruno doing playing in this position? This ain't even his strongest position. It isn't.
Can I also state as well that for those that are screaming, "Oh, player, you just want him to play," that's not even my thing. I think if Kobbie wants to leave on loan, then he should go on loan. If the manager is staying and the manager doesn't really have that much intention of playing him, then he should have someone in there that he's got intentions of playing regularly, or he thinks is better suited to what he wants to achieve. If Ruben thinks that Kobbie doesn't have the right qualities to fit his system and Ruben's going to be sticking around, then he should have players that he feels are best suited to get what he wants. So if that means Kobbie go out on loan for a season and you improve, and I have someone that I think's better or more ready to play in the way that I want to play, then that's what they should do. Everyone should get their own way. The issues here is going to stem from someone's going to lose and someone's going to be unhappy. This will rumble on because this isn't going to get resolved, is it? Like Kobbie's not going to leave, Ruben's not going to leave, seemingly. So this is going to carry on, and it's not even saying sell Kobbie. It's saying that this is a problem. This is an issue, isn't it? So it's not even like, so your player FC, you want Kobbie to be the captain playing the team. No. You saw your manager FC, you just blindly accepted him. No. It's saying that there has to be some kind of resolution to this issue, and it's not going to get resolved, is it? It's not going to get resolved.
No. Exactly. Ryan said it yesterday too. Jose to replace Amorim soon. Obviously, Jose's just been sacked by Fenerbahce. So is Oli.
24 hours after Oli. Yeah,
exactly. The irony. Max says, I'm just so tired of this coach after coach after coach, and the result always ends up in failure. What do we have to do? Seth Rollins says, Man United want Oliver Glasner if Ruben goes. And Kristen says, I fully support Amorim. I have received horrible comments about my opinion on here and the other channels. Kristen, and also that's the thing. Why should you be receiving shit comments? Because you're like, no, I believe in this manager. I think he's going to turn it around. That's you're allowed to think that, bro. Someone's allowed to disagree with you, and you're allowed to disagree with people who think that he's not going to be the man. But when you're saying you're just receiving crap, I don't understand this. So that means there's probably people calling you an idiot or saying you're this or you're that.
There's a line, isn't there? And this is the problem. We and this isn't a new thing, by the way. But we did it last season. This is why it feels even more worse this time around, because we did it literally a year ago.
It wasn't
people that were Ten Hag in and Ten Hag out. And the problem is, if I say I'm Ten Hag in and you go I'm Ten Hag out, for some reason, then instead of us saying why back and forth, it just means the response is you're an idiot, or fuck
or you're
you,
a fake fan,
or basically, or you're a fake fan, or you're the problem, or I'm gonna.
Or you support someone else. Or you support Spurs.
Yeah. Or I'm gonna unsubscribe until I come back tomorrow and then leave another comment how outraged I am. You know what I mean? You prick. That's literally like. It's bizarre behavior. It really, really is. And I don't get it. There was on Sky, big up Bradley. I was with a guy called Bradley on Sky, and we were going back and forth or anything like that. At no point did I say, you're an idiot, Or did I at no point say, you're not a fan? You know, no one's ever going to agree on everything, are they? Of course they're not. But the weird natural response just to insult them is just
ridiculous.
crazy.
And then there's this thing now that I know you and James spoke about it. I'd like to speak about it towards the next part of the show or a different part of the show because I didn't actually get a chance to talk about the news about, the hierarchies back in Ruben. Because, Ruben's not going to get sacked anytime soon.
No.
It means that, that means you're definitely going to want him to lose every game so that you're proved right. It means that you want Man United to lose now because you've changed your opinion and now it means like now are you going to change back? Like you said, you're going to change back now. No, my opinion is that I don't think Ruben Amorim's going to be able to turn this around. I don't think he will. Will I be proved wrong? My God, I hope I am. I hope we go on a run of 10 wins in a row. And that is like, wow, we're near the top of the league. Look at where we're going now. Just a few months ago, that seems like a distant memory. And guess what? Will I change my opinion if I see new evidence that Ruben Amorim is going to turn this around? Yes. Will that make me a flip-flop in your eyes? Maybe. Do I care? No. I just go off evidence. And I've got 50. I've got basically 50 games worth of evidence. So I'll tell you what I'll do. Here's what I'll do, actually. If he makes it that far, I'm going to judge it off the next 50. I'll change my opinion. The next 45 games that I've used to make my mind up of this, I'm going to use for the next period. And if in the next 45 games we still have a win percentage of this and look rubbish, then I guess my opinion stays the same. If in the next 45 games or so we do way better and look like what we're supposed to do, I will change my opinion. Maybe it might be the next 25 games in a row. Maybe it might be the next 18 games in a row. I don't know. But whatever the new sample size is that I see, if I see something different and I see improvement, I'll also call out the improvement. And yeah, my opinion might change.
Flex, the best one, and this is, and I'm telling you for a fact this is coming, is a lot of people are very much aware of what's inside my head, my thoughts. You actually think this. You go, no, I don't. Yeah, you do. So when we play Burnley at the weekend, and fingers crossed we win, by the way.
Yeah.
When we win, it'll be, you're not happy. You're happy we won. I could be here and doing cartwheels, right? And being like, we won. We
won't be allowed to enjoy it anyway, because
it will be, I'm telling you, you're not happy we won. You're not smiling enough. You're not happy enough. Or if we lose, you're happy we lost. I'm telling you, you're happy we lost. Yeah. And it's, again, we suddenly become sort of these weird sort of telepathic people of going, you actually, this is really how you feel. And like you said, my opinions has still been the same even after yesterday. I think Ruben Amorim should and will eventually probably walk. It might even be after the weekend. We shall see. It might be after the international break. I feel like we're just heading down the same path that we've headed down before, unfortunately. Like you said, really hope he turns around. I just feel like after that Grimsby one, to me, felt like Ten Hag 7-0, where maybe actually he will go on and stick around for a while. Maybe he actually might do good things, but it'll always circle back to that was the day. That was the day.
You just never really recovered from that.
Liverpool 7-0, you go, never really recovered after that.
Because guess what? At home to Chelsea, we'll show a bit, crowd will be up, might get might be able to get positive. We have done that before, but that people will confuse that. I've been there before. As progress, so we'll see. We're all going to see how this thing transpires. It's going to be a fascinating season already. Daniel Luciano says, I promise that person has nothing going on in their life, hate in their heart. You have friends, I do, a community, I do, and an SJA, I do. Pick up to you, Daniel Luciano. We do have that. Go on, Flex. Appreciate you, brother. Mason says, don't care what anyone says. Xavi is the man for me. We need someone who players look and realize, okay, this guy is a worldwide certified player. I hear that, fair enough, but you got to be a worldwide certified manager, though. You know what I'm saying? Gerrard is the worldwide certified player. Lampard's been Bruni's worldwide certified player. But
Xavi won the league, didn't he?
But he did win the league, to be fair. He did stabilize Barca at a difficult time, to be fair, and he has put in some work. So interesting one, Mason. AJ says, Flex, I hope you're all right. I'm good, brother. I'm all good. Don't let these faceless idiots break your lively spirit. The insults are disgusting, but tells a lot about who they are. As an Arsenal fan, I'm sending you nothing but love. Big up to you, bro. Big up. Appreciate that, AJ. And just so everyone does know, you guys know my skin. It's very, very thick. I'm very, very good. I'm more worried for people who maybe who don't have, the resilience that I have and find that extremely tough. That'll make you want to come off social media, ruin your day and stuff. That won't happen to me, but it can happen to a lot of other people. You know what I'm saying? But big up, man. That's why I think it's important that we show that. But big up to you, AJ. I'm good, bro. Shenanigans says, imagine a 20-year-old demanding game time or alone under Ferguson. He'd be sold the next day. His priority should be United, not England. Sell him now. Okay, fair enough. That's how you feel. A team under Ferguson, you'd be around good pros who look after you. Good example. You'd be in a good team. You'd be in a winning team. There's loads of things.
Well, that's the difference. That's the difference, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, if you was a 20-year-old, you'd be difficult to get in the team anyway because you'd have to be so good based on the process there. And also,
you wouldn't have Ugarte and Casemiro playing ahead of you, mate.
No, I think also
you can't get it taken off.
I think also as well, if it was a Ferguson team and a 20-year-old went to him, a 20-year-old would probably just go get the loan anyway. Like that would probably be the mindset of actually, don't give him too much too soon. Actually, send him out on loan. It goes back to how he's become so integral over the last 18 months that now there's kind of no way back. Going back to the bench is like a demotion. It almost feels like for him.
Exactly. Yeah. He's played so much that actually now it's like you're just an unused sub. It's like, well, something's wrong here. My game time's not right.
Yeah.
Cobbleston says, I know there's attitude issues, but see Garnacho and Kobbie want to leave Hurts. On the system, it absorbs the 6 into the back 3. So the middle 2 need to be 2 8s or 8 and 10. We play a 6 in there. So we can't control anything. And that's the manager. Agreed. Terence Pace says, won't hold it against Cobbs for getting game time elsewhere. Flex, social media is a cancer. Don't let it get you down. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. Like I said, it's definitely not going to get you down. And I know you mean they're entitled to their opinion. You're not okay in them having that opinion. I mean, what you're saying is it's okay for me to have my opinion. That wasn't even an opinion. Yeah. So big up to you, Terence, man. Always a good guy. So Ryan says, Ruben is like you, Flex. A modern day flip-flopper. Keeps changing his mind. Joshua says, I love Kobbie, but what if we offered him to Brighton on loan in a Baleba deal? A year at Brighton, a team that develops midfield is not the worst idea. Yeah, but that's just not. We're not going to get.
This
Baleba
is the other part of that as well with the Kobbie thing is that if we had signed Carlos Baleba, then when it comes to Kobbie, he'd be further. He'd be even further back because he'd be like.
But this is another reason why he's thinking they don't want me here.
Yeah, you know what I mean. This is the other thing.
Think about it like this.
If they people that are going, well, Ruben to get his midfielder, so Kobbie's going to play, but he was looking for that midfielder. So, and if he had got him, then Kobbie would have played even less than he is right now, which again probably factors into the thinking of, well, they just got money for Garnacho, they get money for Højlund, they could still get a midfielder. What happens then? Exactly. Which would be a worry for him, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Joshua says, I said that already. Oh wait, no, did I? Yeah, that's the one we just read. Lil Yo-Yo says, we've all said that Ruben is a serial flip-flop, just all over the place emotionally. I understand Kobbie's concerns though. Amorim needs to fix up. I think that's a perfect way of saying it, Lil Yo. He is an emotional guy. He says things and then has to retract it quite a lot. He says things in the moment that are really, they seem really, there was no way, like you said, and I'm so glad that the mainstream media has seen it the way we did. As soon as you watch that interview, you finish it, because reading the quotes don't do it justice. When you watch it, you look around and you go, did you hear? He said you can't change 22 players, i.e. so you have to change me. He said, we're going to get to the international break. We'll decide things. He said my players spoke. Did everyone hear?
Times.
He said he basically said he wants to leave.
I reacted to it live. I was on literally live on the full-time view at the time. And I went, when he literally said, my players spoke for me. They spoke for me really, really loudly. And then I forget the interviewer's name, a lady from Sky. She was really, really good, actually, because she circled back to it. It's like, what do you mean by that? And he says, I think I spoke really, really loud. I've gone, oh, wow, he's going to resign in the next 24 hours then. Because that's what it sounded basically. The players spoke to me that they don't want me to be
here. And then sorry to circle back, Owen, and then the cheek of people to be like, why have you lost hope in him? Why have you lost faith? The guy, he did... He just told me as a United fan that, like, I don't think this is for me. What do you want me to do? No, well, a real fact, you just back him anyway. Even if he wants to leave, you just back him.
You just got out. Something's just happened that's never happened in the history of the club. And he went, the player spoke really loud for me. basically, or for really loud. And actually, the ITV one, the players spoke really loud for what they want. And you go, well, that's a bit, with the implication being it's not me that they want. So I think, look, when it comes to it, I'm sure of him. That's what I was just about to say. I'm sure today and this because it was the line from the club that it will be that, look, I was emotional. I said some emotional things. Yes. But that can still be then a criticism of Ruben of like, you're the Manchester United manager. Needs to improve. Then you can't. We're fans. We're emotional. As a coach, we might like it to see on the touchline and doing all this kind of stuff, but as the Man United manager, knowing how the media is, you've got to rein that in, because otherwise you're going to get situations like this where we're going, did he just like say he was going to leave?
And also, Owen,
even if it's send your assistant out. Sir Alex used to do it all the time. Mike Phelan, go do an interview. Why? I can't. Yeah, exactly. I can't speak to this shit. Send someone else out. You know what I mean?
And also, we can't act like you can't just get a pass for the things you say. Like when you're under that level of stress and pressure, a lot slips out of basically what you really think. You're suggesting to us that these players don't want to play for me. Like you're suggesting that. Yeah, we can say the way it's come out. Come on, give him a break. He's stressed. Give him a break, man. He's emotional. Give him a break. It's straight after the game. Well, that's what he gets paid the millions to do. That's why he's there. Like, we can't, again, talk out of both sides of our mouths. We can understand. I'm the most understanding person ever. I don't like to be that guy. But what you can't do is just, again, hide yourself and be like, no, he's a human being. You've got to give him some, you can't, you're Man United manager. And in that same meme that happens, this is Man United we're talking about. This is where Roy Keane is right. When you go, imagine, I don't even want to watch the next, back to stick to football thing overlap. I mean, Rookie's going to go when they show him the tactics board thing and show him what manager not looking, and they say, "Oh, can't change 22 players. Going to have to change again. Oh, players aren't playing for." That is where Roy Keane's going to go, mate. What? You're the manager of this club. You're the manager of Man United.
But this is the funny thing, because I know that you can relate to this, because Flex has said to me many a time, he goes, like the match views, I don't really like doing them because I get too emotional. He goes, and I say things I regret, it's too difficult, and blah 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 blah. And like I said, you're a fan thinking that. So I think every fan can relate to after the game being emotional, or like we do reactions after the games and being like, once I cooled down, or this instant I was seeing it wrong and actually it wasn't his fault, blah, blah, blah. The issue is that, again, we're fans. He's the manager or the head coach of Manchester United, and part of his job description is to do media interviews after football matches, prior to football matches, during football matches. That's part of the job. So he has to improve that. And I'm sure there will be people within Manchester United going like, Ruben, you've got to be like, especially with our media, like it's not like at other clubs where you can say stuff and they go, bloody hell. At United, it will be a story for instance, him not watching penalties is such a storm in the teacup. It is so overblown. That whole, I can't believe he's not even watching the penalties. That's a disgrace. Who gives a shit whether he watches the penalties or not, right? But that is an example of something that is nothing that can get way blown up because you're the Manchester United manager. Yeah. So
and the tactic board thing with the meme,
So again, with that, think about how carefully you have to pick and choose your words. Because if you're gonna get memes for using the tactics board, if you're gonna get memed for not looking at the penalties, then just think how much weight your words carry. Look at, again, people to Eric Ten Hag, that phrase "era's come to an end" was said throughout his entire tenure as Manchester United manager. Ruben Amorim about we will experience a storm. How much
good times are coming.
How much mileage he's got out of that? The storm is coming, or whatever. Or good times are coming.
Yeah. It's okay now because he told us this. And sometimes though, what we get with the sometimes what we get with the words is how sometimes we lap it up without even thinking. Well, we're 15th, and all these records. But listen, he did foresee this. He told us it was coming. So let's just get behind him. All right, cool. We get to the end of that season in front of 75,000 people and the world watching at home, and the millions watching at home. Shout out to Michael Buffer and The Rock, who also says something similar, doesn't he, Owen?
Millions.
You can vouch for that. And the millions. Watching at home. He also goes on the mic and says, What I can tell you now is that the good times are coming. Okay, fine. And then we've now suffered a new record low. A new record low after being told the good. So then don't go at fans when you've been told that information and it doesn't correlate.
I'm just trying to think. What's the, like, out of curiosity, like, what is the worst start we've had to a Premier League season with 3 games? Man United.
With 3 games.
Start.
Is it not Eric Ten Hag's one when it was the 4-0 against Thing and then the first 3 games?
But then he won the last game, wasn't it? He in that one.
Oh, was it the third game he won?
The third game was against Liverpool. It must be Van Gaal, right? Because Van Gaal was loss, draw, or loss, draw. But after 3 games, what is it? Have we ever lost our opening 3?
Well, we haven't done that now anyway.
We haven't done it. It's a point. Yeah. So this
basically
would,
1 point off 9.
If we were to draw it, that would match Van Gaal. Yeah.
So we only had 2. He got 2 draws and a loss in his first 3 games.
Because he was Swansea and then drew against Sunderland, and then did he lose his third one?
I can't
14,
remember.
15, Man United. I looked this up the other day. Man United season. Premier League, the Premiership. It was loss, draw. So we lost the first game against Swansea.
So we're on track.
Drew against Sunderland, and then drew against Burnley. So if we have to basically win at the weekend tomorrow to not equal our worst start to the season ever. Yeah. But look, that season. But this is the wild thing. When I was looking at this the other day, the wild thing with this season, actually, I should get it up on the screen, shouldn't I? I forget I can actually do this. With this one, this is quite interesting, because that season with Louis van Gaal, he then went on some unbelievable runs like that. I just don't know if I could see us actually going on this season. So let me get up. So you see, like, the start of the season there at the top. So let me scroll up. This is the first 3 I'm on about. You know, you got Swansea, lost, draw. Then win against QPR. Then we had the game against Leicester. Remember that?
That was the first season.
And I thought, we're so fucking back. You know, this is going to be amazing. And then Cambiasso scored whatever. But then 2 wins, 2 draws, not bad. Lose against City, you know, it can happen. Then after that, look at this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 consecutive wins. Draw. 8, 9, 10.
Ain't lost in like 11 games.
Yeah, like 10, 11 games unbeaten. And then they do it again here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Frank, United Strand, he could have got 2 haircuts.
Yeah.
2 haircuts in this season. 2. He hasn't been able to have one in like over a year or whatever it was. Yeah, he could have had 2 in this season. So yes, it's not impossible that.
And where did we finish that season? That was 4th.
We finished 4th.
This was his first ever season, though. This is the first 3 games he ever played. Ruben is at 45, pushing 50.
Yeah, again, and that's the key thing there. So for people that will say, you know, that's not impossible. You know what I mean? It's not impossible that can have a very successful season. It's more the feeling of, okay, that team, they went on a run. Do we think that this Man United team with Ruben, considering we've had like a bigger sample size than we had with Louis van Gaal at this point, do we think that he can go on a run? My feeling is no. I just cannot see us going on a situation where we would win 6 or 7 games in a row.
Frank is basically bald. Like,
exactly. Every week.
Then what would he do? Every game we win, I shave my hair. He might change his thing.
After that, exactly.
Yeah, you got to change it to something else. But by the way, Frank was everywhere yesterday. He was on DAZN. He was on CBS. He was on ESPN. Basically every single outlet that is an outlet. BBC.
He was somewhere in like Portugal. Because the problem he's having now, Frank, is that he's doing these interviews. His hair barely fits in the shot anymore.
Can't do it. Yeah, he's got some
it's getting bigger.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Eventually, at one point, he's going to be like that. It's going to be too heavy. It's
crazy. Oh my God, look at the time already. Jeez, we haven't even. Oh my days, what crazy shit. This is mad. Even says too many clicks, too much division, and United. At United. Show says all goes back to Ineos not taking charge when the bid for Bruno came in. Should have been ruthless and move the club forward. Now we are here. D Witness says, guys, I think maybe hope, Kobbie, could be the succession plan for Bruno, hence the comment around competing for a spot, aka level up as you will be number one when Bruno leaves at the end of the season. Maybe there is something in that. Maybe there is something in that. Ryan says you can't win. If you're negative, you're doing UV for money and views. If you're positive, you're paid by the club. And do you not? This is a Chelsea fan.
That is super chat of the day.
Super chat. I didn't even think. Do you know what? I forgot that's how it is. You know what?
Yeah.
Ryan, you are a Chelsea
That's
fan.
so true. Because over pre-season, that was the thing, wasn't it? Brown envelopes, mate. Brown envelopes.
Brown envelopes. And I said, you know what?
said stuff to get in press conferences, Flex.
Owen, remember when I'm going, you know what, guys? People won't really want to do this, but you've got to give Ineos credit for getting Pecunia and Bumo and Sesko from 15th, man. Like that. If you'd have told us that against Villa at the end of this last season, and, you know, I'd never believed that we would have got them free from the... Where's your brown envelope? They've done nothing. You know, this, that, and the other. You're just on the payroll. And then you go, I tell you what, here's the stats, here's the figures. I don't think he's going to be able to turn this around. You're doing this for money and views. You're not a real fan. You actually support Spurs.
You hate the fan. You hate the club. You hate the club. They cut you off.
Nicholas says, issue if he... Yeah, exactly. Where's the press passes now then? So now I'm having my opinion. Honestly. Nicholas says, he just got to laugh at it. Issue if he doesn't go is that he becomes the big story. Sky Sports cutting to Mainoo sitting on the bench, on the subs bench every time you're losing and drawing. Well, yeah, that will happen every time. You know, that's going to happen. Again, in terms of the cliche, this is Man United you're talking about. Tab says, thoughts on the fan abusing Mbumo on the pitch. Idiot. He's an idiot, isn't it? Idiot, you know. You've won, listen, one of the biggest games in the history of your whole football club. Celebrate, storm the pitch, etc. But running up in players' faces and doing that kind of stuff goes without saying, Tabs. You're just a clown, mate. You're a clown. And actually fair play to Bruno for actually helping out with the security to get the players back in. Because when that does happen, it must be mad. That's like a mad situation where like stuff can happen. You know? That must be because you don't know what people are on. You've got thousands of people running at you that, listen, we all know what dickheads are like. Jack Reed, no, that weren't that.
No, there was one. It was a guy from the championship, either last season or the season before, and he was standing on the dugout. I think it was when Forest got promoted to the Premier League, and someone ran on the pitch, and they just punched him in the face. Like literally just went boom like that. And right, because you assume while they're running on the pitch they won't do that, but like you said, you have no idea. You don't know.
And actually, and Bruno's not even panicked. He's just sort of,
yeah.
And Bruno's just got an arm up. And fair play to Bruno. Go look out for your guy. Go look out for your teammate. Because I think the rest of them were closer to the dugout and got ushered by the security. And Bruno just got left. Obviously, he's away where the penalty was taken, so he's right in the thick of it. And I think Dallo tried as well. But that was good to see. Bad to see that the scenes, but good to see Bruno trying to get him in because I couldn't imagine what that's like. Imagine in some of the bigger stadiums as well, where there's even more fans there. It's a scary thing because you don't know what a man's on. You don't know what girls are. You don't know what people are on. Jay says, so 21-year-old Collier can go on loan for game time.
I miss when Collier played in the Euros final. Good for him.
Yeah. Well, I think Jay's actually saying, well, he can. So why can't Kobbie? I think he's actually supporting.
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, Aki says, United need a liar manager. Annual media circus on. And Footy News says fans slated Garner when he wanted to leave. Where's the same energy for Kobbie? I agree with both players. They don't fit the system and are being wasted. Fair. Triple S says you guys should cover Turkish League. They're sacking managers every day. You'd love it. Yeah, that's what we want. We want our managers to be sacked every day, so we'd love that. And Red Devil United says why didn't anyone ask the question why Ahmad didn't cross with his right foot? And is Ruben the issue in our young players leaving the club? No, that's the bit where I'm like, I don't agree with that. Rashford was done.
No.
Garnacho, that is where he doesn't fit the system. Manager doesn't fancy him. That has happened because of that, because he's played with Southampton, right?
And also, I do think it's, I don't think it's a Ruben thing. I think for a while, under many managers, under Amorim, Ten Hag, Solskjaer, Mourinho, there's been something, the culture of our academy and the way we're sort of nurturing or shaping the players, there's an issue there, I think, because there's too many problems, you know what I mean, with academy graduate egos or entitlement or what have you. There's something wrong there. So I wouldn't put that blame at Ruben's door. I think that's a club cultural issue that's been there for a while. And maybe actually not even just necessarily just at Man United. I think that's a problem just in general with academy football. There's so much money involved now and so much egos, and social media doesn't help that as well for young footballers. You're told you're the greatest thing ever since you're like that big. How that's going to warp your mind, isn't it? It really is.
Exactly. Right, let's quickly do Garnacho. Here we go.
Garnacho. This was announced yesterday. David Ornstein saying that Manchester United have agreed a deal. Chelsea have agreed a deal with Manchester United for the signing of Alejandro Garnacho. There was a bit of confusion initially about the price and what have you, but Ornstein did confirm that it's a 40 million fixed fee. Romano initially said it was less than 40, but it's 40 million fixed fee and a 10% salon clause as part of the package. Garnacho is having his medical today. He's expected to sign a 7-year contract ahead of this proposed move. I still look at it and say I'm not thrilled with the fee, in all honesty. I would have liked more, and I feel we could have got more. I think time was running out, and Man United panicked. I obviously don't think it was helped by us very clearly being like, you're never going to play for United again, even though we tried to backtrack on it.
Owen, I'll be honest. When I think about it, it's the maximum we actually could have got in the situation we're in. 100. If you're just looking at only market value, 100% he should be more. But we also have to put our tax on that this is so public. He doesn't want to be here. We don't want him, and he hasn't played all summer because we said don't come back. So we can't, again, talk out of both sides of our mouth, like you say, when we're like, I want 50-55 for him, which actually in the summer I was saying, but actually by the time I'd taken it all in and gone, you know what? Obviously Chelsea are going to come in the last few days. They know he only wants them as well. We really don't want him, and we have to make sure he's sold. It's the best we could have got in the situation. It's not ideal, but it is the best we could have got in the situation.
I spoke to a mate of mine who's a Chelsea fan, and he was he's not even sold, because I know a lot of Chelsea.
They're not sold on him
but I think a lot of them have sort of gone, 40 million. That's not too bad. They haven't paid a lot of money. I do think the salon clause, it will be beneficial because even though he's got a 7-year contract, he's probably going to be gone in a couple of years at Chelsea, I think, anyway.
And what Chelsea will he get sold for? He'll probably get sold. Well,
Chelsea,
for like 50, 60.
They're good at selling, aren't they? They're good at selling. So I think, like you said, a couple of years, more time in the Prem,
like 5 or 6 million.
5 or 6. So then altogether, he probably ends up total package for United getting sold for like 46, ish million. Which again, you go, still not great. But it's probably the best we can probably get.
We wanted him out and he wanted to leave. It's the best you can get. And it is 100% pure profit. So it would do a lot for us in terms of 40 million on the books to do that. So, and actually, you know what? Again, I want to say I wish him well, but that means Chelsea will be doing really good. I don't have no ill feeling towards him like a lot of people do. And I actually think he'll do all right. He didn't always try. He's had attitude problems, but every time he was on the pitch, he put his shift in. He didn't, throw his toys out the pram and not run and stuff like that. Attitude-wise, off the pitch,
he threw his toys out the pram off the pitch.
And I think actually that's what's going to be really interesting in this next phase of his career, which I will be looking in on keen eyes as a neutral football fan, is when the going gets tough at Chelsea and you're not playing instead of Neto on the left, or you're not playing instead of Gittins because the manager's thinking, this big champion. I think they got PSG, ain't they, in the thing with Barcelona, whatever. Garnacho's going to want a piece of them big games when he's on the bench because the manager prefers this player for these big games, and he's like, I should be playing. His brother gets in his ear and says, how is he not starting? He scored in the last game. Why is he not starting against Barca and all this stuff? That's when it's going to get interesting. What does that look like? Will he learn from his past mistakes and just suck it up and work hard and not have any social media mishaps? Or will it be the same thing?
Like I said, I think he'll do well, but I think he won't be there for super long. I think Chelsea... Well, I think either he wants to leave or Chelsea will just probably get bored in a couple of years. They just like to fresh things up, get new people in. They just got that young Brazilian kid as well, haven't they? They got a lot of players. They got lots. They got lots of players coming. In,
so he's got to be ready to really fight. He's going from not being the main man at Man United because the manager didn't think it, to not being the main man at Chelsea as well. Well, he's got the opportunity to, because they're all young. It's kind of a fair game. Jamie Gittins shows what you got. Garnacho shows what you got. Neto's more established. Esteval shows what you got, and he has already. So it's fair game on the left, to be fair. It's an open shot for him. So go and make it your own and see. You've got Premier League experience, but you should be looking better than Jamie Gittins. That's for sure. So we'll see. JA says, point is Kobbie is getting hate from Amorim fans. Yeah, he is. And Esteval is cold, says to wrap up here, and he does look really good. And lastly, tomorrow, look, actually, I'll tell you what, we'll leave that because we're going to do a preview very shortly as well. And actually, I thought about Jim Sharp. Like, this press conference is actually really big with what he's going to say and what he's going to do. So look out for that. When we do the Trinity, I think we'll probably do it as a reaction to.
Yeah, we'll be live just after. Usually they're at 1:30, so we'll be live just after.
Yeah. But we are doing the Trinity a little bit earlier today. So all taken into consideration, we'll keep you covered across all of it, whether Trinity and obviously whatever Ruben says, because I'm pretty sure he's going to have some big questions to face, and there's going to be significant things that he says from that. Right, smash a like on the video, guys. Head over to Flex's Football Flex. A video going up there very, very shortly. So check that out. And yeah, we will see you later on today. There's going to be a lot happening today in the lead up to tomorrow's game. So yes, be tuned in, guys. We're out of here. Peace.